How to talk to my F22 boyfriend, M21, about his stank bum. So obviously, as the title says, my boyfriend's but stinks. We've been together for just over 2 years, and this has been an issue for the last 8-ish months. I know, it's a very long time to be dealing with this. The issue is that every time I've brought it up and tried to gently say something like, hey, not trying to be rude, but you have a bit of a smell, he gets annoyed and says he wipes properly and washes in the shower. Then the smell goes away for a few days, but returns. The thing is, I don't know if I believe him anymore. I've been having to wash the sheets, and even the blankets at least once a week, because they start to emit the same poopy smell from them. Like right now as we've been in bed, I'm turned the other way, and will still once in a while get a whiff. He showers nearly every day because his job is hard work, and he is aware when he comes home he stinks. But this is different than sweat. I actually got up and was looking around the room to make sure a cat hadn't for some reason crapped in the corner. Again, I've tried multiple times to make offhand references about using wet wipes or scrubbing good in the shower with the cloth and soap, but still nearly every other day but just smells like he's freshly shat himself. How do I bring this up to him in a way where he won't get upset and hopefully take me seriously? I love him, but my nose is going to bail on me soon, sad face. Firstly, what do you mean he showers nearly every day? Your man is out here with a sweaty job. Aware, he comes home stinking, and yet not partaking in daily hygiene. Secondly, the proof is in the pudding. If he was cleaning his ass, you wouldn't be able to smell his ass. What he says about it is irrelevant. You do you, but I'd simply have no tolerance for this. Clean your ass or pack your belongings, bro. You already have. He fixes it for a couple of days, and then he slacks off again. He knows and he doesn't care. Stop getting into bed with someone who doesn't care enough about his hygiene or your comfort to wash his bum. You just know a chump like this doesn't brush his teeth, wash his hands, or clean his dick properly either. Just how is this a weekly post on Reddit? Without fail, once a week there's a post that goes, my boyfriend doesn't clean himself properly and he reeks of shit. It's incredible. Do not spend any money on this issue. You've already brought it up, and he just gets annoyed. If he wanted to fix it, he would. He already has everything at his disposal to fix this, but doesn't fix it. He doesn't want to stop stinking of shit. I could never. Oh my gosh. Men learn when they lose access. You are raising a child, sis. He's a grown man. He should know. Stop with the subtle hints. If he gets mad, tell him, why are you mad at me for your ass stinking? Literally be like, can you smell that? I think you need to check your drawers, because are you sharding? If he says I wiped, be like, with what, your underwear? Or, did you throw the paper away? Or, are you sure it's closed good? Like, girl, this has my stressing for you. Folded hands. Personally, I would just end the relationship. BC, I expect that dynamic to be different. You gotta love he better not ever take for granted. My 24F uncle, 55M, has started to send me weird messages and say inappropriate things. The uncle is mother's cousin. First, some background info. We first met 6 years ago after my grandma died. He has a wife, 2 daughters, 23 and 28 years old, and lives in another city. We both love sports, so we bonded over it. A few times a year we go for bike rides or go skiing, sometimes me alone with him, and sometimes us together with my mother, my other uncle, and my cousin. I felt pretty good around him. We stay in touch and text very frequently. Usually he starts the conversations. But during the last 2-3 months something has changed, and his interactions towards me has begun to make me very uncomfortable. So last year I struggled a lot with depression and insomnia, and I had to go to the hospital. He knew about it and showed great concern and worry, even visited me at the hospital once. A month or 2 after I left the hospital we were talking on WhatsApp, and he tells me, I just want to make sure you're okay. You are a very special person, remember. You deserve all the happiness in the world. I thought, okay, he's just trying to make me happy after depression and everything. But this is where the weird shit starts. Soon after that, he has started calling me beautiful and his soulmate in some of his texts. He also sent me a screenshot, twice already, from Temu where a woman is wearing tight sports leggings and said, look, Temu is distracting me, or Temu is attacking me again. To which I replied, why won't you buy it for your wife then? He also sent me a romantic song a few times, for example, I've Been Waiting for a Girl Like You by Foreigner. After he found out I'm good at painting and artistic stuff, he called me a muse 2 months ago. He offered me a trip to the castle in another city. I agreed, because we've already went for trips like that. Before we left the house, he told my family that he's taking a princess to the castle. Also 2 months ago, he visited the Titanic Museum, where the visitors were given ticket replicas of real passengers and could read a story about their passenger. His passenger was a man whose first wife died, and then he married like 20 years younger woman and had a child with her. He drowned in the sinking, but his new wife and child survived. So the uncle is sending me pics from the museum and telling me his passenger's story, and suddenly he goes, "I will be haunting you at night as a ghost," then adds, "because who else could be my younger wife other than you?" I was completely shocked. I didn't know what to say, so I just replied that I'm not scared of ghosts. Next day he sends me a message and refers to me as his beautiful second wife. I ignored, didn't reply. Every year during winter him and his family, wife, daughters and their boyfriends, go swimming in thermal pools. Lately, sent me pictures and a video he recorded there, where one of his daughters is wearing a bikini and she explicitly says, "Don't send that video to anybody." Yet he sent it to me. He's talked about those pools like 10 times already, explaining to me how good for mental health and relaxation they are, and how much he wants me to go with them. But I already said many times I don't want to go and won't go because I hate pools and can't swim anyway. So he began to dig. Is it because there's many people? Or is it because you have to undress? And I can teach you how to swim. I'm pretty convinced he wants to see me in a bikini and wants to take pictures of me. He already told me that he once posted a picture of his daughter wearing a bikini online and that she yelled at him for that. He also told me he often watches the pictures from our trips. During recent Christmas, he brought gifts to our house for the first time ever. And it wouldn't be weird if he didn't say one thing before he left. He told my 18-year-old sister, "I'm sorry it's that way, but most gifts are for my name. She's the apple of my eye. But you have a boyfriend, so you'll get your gifts." I was dumbfounded, and so were my mother and my stepfather who heard it, especially my stepfather. Later that day I text him saying, "Thank you for the gifts, but it's a bit too much. I have a family, they gave me gifts, you shouldn't have bought all of that," to which he replied, "Never too much gifts for the beautiful my name." And the last one. Yesterday I was going through his texts and screenshotting every time he said something inappropriate, and suddenly I see this message I didn't see earlier. "I have a problem with a pretty angel. I will tell you someday. Good night." Like what the actual hell? Guys, I think he's either obsessed or in love with me. He's texting me basically every day talking about various stuff. Sometimes I don't even read everything and don't reply to every message. I know I have to react, but I don't have the courage because I hate conflict. I also have no experience in complicated relationships and have never dated anybody. I'm waiting for the next time he sends something inappropriate so I can address the issue. What do you think? I don't want to cut off all contact, but I'm very uncomfortable and the situation is stressing me out every day. How would you react? Too long, did not read. My uncle has started to send me weird texts and calling me beautiful, his soulmate, a muse, a princess, or his second younger wife, among other inappropriate things. Also wants to take me to the swimming pools, where I won't go. Sent me romantic songs and bought Christmas gifts for me for the first time ever. Please just show your mother this post. Let your mom know, show her the messages, then block him. Does he know where you live? Of course you have to cut contact. There is no way you can have a friendship with this man. You should tell your mother everything and let her handle it. His poor wife. Talk to your mom. Tell her how confused and uncomfortable you feel. Block him on your phone and on Snapchat and any other apps or social media. Please stop going anywhere with this man. He is going to end up hurting you. Stay safe and good luck. I have a niece. I don't send her stuff like that. He is trying to groom you. Don't be embarrassed. Please tell your mom immediately. You've done nothing wrong. How can I, F22, reject someone I have already rejected, M59? I 22F am trying to reject my neighbor 59M. Around a year ago, my neighbor approached me asking if I'd like to go to the cinema with him. I politely said no, and I thought it was the end of it. The next day he came to the door and asked me again. I said no. He then posted a letter through my letterbox asking again, and I ignored it. At this point he came to the door again to make sure I knew he would pay, and I said no, I'm okay. By this point I was freaked out. For some context, I have anxiety, and this neighbor I have known since I was 12, but only in brief conversation. So I decided to tell my mom. When she found out, she said to me not to answer the door, and she will deal with him. He knocked the door again 7 a.m. the next morning, and my mom told him he was a creep and to back off. Since this he hasn't really spoken to me except for a wave in passing. Until yesterday when he approached me asking again. He said he knows my mum thinks he's a creepy, but he's just trying to be nice. I was taken off guard, and I just said I'd let you know. For context, I have seen him this past year, but either he was with his son, or I was with my mum. This was my first time seeing him on my own. I wanted to make this post because I was helping get shopping out the car, and all I could hear was banging on his window, and I didn't look up, but when my mum got out the car it stopped. I feel so anxious all over again, and I don't know what I can say that'll make him stop. Thanks for any advice in advance. The cold hard truth, honey. Tell him your mom's not the only one who thinks he's being a creep, and frankly, he's making you extremely uncomfortable. That unless he stop, you're going to involve the police. What he's doing is not being nice. It's harassment. You don't have to be nice to people who are a danger to you. I'd be direct and say that he makes you uncomfortable, he is being creepy, and that if he continues to harass you, you will call the police and get a restraining order. Also tell your mom, and keep her in the loop, that he is continuing to ask you out. You should file a police report for harassment. Tell him to stop because he is making you uncomfortable. If you feel comfortable saying it, tell him that you think he is a creep for even asking since he has known you since you were 12. Don't worry about hurting his feelings. You don't owe him nice when he is making you uncomfortable. Tell your mum he has done it again. You might need her support and her intervention again. Start documenting every time he tries to contact you with the date and time. Take photos and videos if possible. Report him to the police and get a restraining order, or whatever it is called in your country. Sometimes you have to be mean. We teach women to always be polite, but sometimes that doesn't get the job done. If someone is creeping you out, then it's time to hurt some feelings. Get loud and angry. He'll leave you alone. Talk to your mum. Maybe next time he asks, lie and say you're dating someone. It's sad to say, but it's safer to lie sometimes. I, 27 female, am feeling confused about consent after encounter with 29 male. I matched with a guy on an app a few weeks ago. It turned sexual pretty quickly, which wasn't my initial intention, but I was into it, so contributed. We talked about being very attracted to each other and what we wanted to do to each other when we saw each other. We also talked about our lives, families, interests. We work in the same field and bonded over that. We truly got to know each other over text and phone calls, but it was clear we would hook up when we saw each other. Again, I was cool with this and contributed. At one point he asked me about anal. I said I'd tried it before, I liked it, but it had been years since I'd done it, and it made me nervous. He told me he didn't want me to be nervous with him. When we eventually met up, I was not attracted to him like I thought I would be. He picked me up and drove me straight to his apartment. I felt trapped. He starts kissing me in his apartment, and things escalate. I again felt trapped, and went along with things and tried to enjoy myself. At some point, I'm on my stomach, and he tries to start anal. I say no. He asks if he should get lube, and I say okay, and he tries again, still hurts. I say no again. He says he'll just put the tip in, he really wants to. I said no, not today. We move on. Maybe an hour later, we're laying in bed together, and all I can think about is going home, but we're cuddling/spooning. All of a sudden, he's trying to put it in my ass again. At this point I feel beat down and ask him to go slow, which he does, and I just let him do his thing. I feel upset with myself because I obviously didn't have to hook up with him in the first place, but I also feel violated and like he assaulted me in a way. I'm having trouble figuring out if I'm disappointed I had sex with someone I wasn't into, or if I have reason to feel like I was taken advantage of. You might benefit from therapy to get better at drawing firm boundaries and respecting your own needs. Sounds like you may have people-pleasing tendencies. Not to say it's your fault. The guy was a creep, but you need to be able to get yourself out of situations where you're not comfortable, even if it's going to be awkward or make someone upset. Work on having an exit strategy so you don't feel trapped. Have Uber/Lyft apps/taxi numbers. Have access to money with on your phone or hide a $20. Text a close friend that you're going out and give them mapping access. In the future, someone takes you to their place and you don't want to be there. Listen to your gut and get gone. You don't owe anyone anything just because you had some chats. Coercion is not consent, and this guy definitely coerced you. Asking repeatedly after you say no multiple times isn't okay. I'm really sorry, Opie. Like another person here states, if it's not an enthusiastic yes from the beginning, the answer is always no instead of ask again or keep trying. Hey, It's a learning experience. The guy isn't someone you want to date and didn't respect your boundaries. So let's just be done with the dude. He's not a good guy. But you can learn how to use your voice and go with your instincts. You can both be disappointed in yourself and feel creeped out by him. Both can be true. But don't be hard on yourself, it is what it is, and next time you'll use your voice. And before I get downvoted, I'm speaking as someone who has experience with severe trauma, and am speaking from my own healing experience. You said no, he should have stopped. He continued to coerce you, and I expect it felt easier and safer to just go along with it. You feel confused because you were assaulted, but you think it's your fault for getting yourself into the situation. He was the one in the wrong here. You said no. Things like this are going to keep happening if you care more about not hurting someone's feelings / not disappointing someone than you do your own bodily autonomy. The second you knew you no longer wanted to go through with it, that was the perfect time to let the guy know. A majority of the time, waiting it out to see if your feelings change just puts you into a position that super duper sucks when they don't. Why do that to yourself, lady?